Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and I think there was something we might have missed in the trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps. A detail that might have only become clear in the weeks following the trailer release, when I realized this movie is doing something really clever with a specific moment. In this video, I'm going to reassemble some of the puzzle pieces in this trailer into something that I think helps really illuminate this entire film, and a big cameo that we've been speculating about maybe being even likelier to appear now. Okay, so when I broke down this trailer frame by frame, I spotted a few odd details of the trailer that I didn't really have good answers for. Like, what are Reed Richards and Sue Storm doing when they give this tour of the Baxter building, other than, awkwardly presenting around a VFX erased baby bump to reassure the public that this is a safe home for a newborn baby? What does the trailer's final card of presented in Fantastivision really mean? Why does Ben Grimm check his watch when a meteor shower rains down upon Manhattan? Well, over the weeks, some answers have presented themselves in the way Marvel Studios has begun to memify this upcoming event. First, I noticed the Fantastic Four themed IMAX countdown that plays in IMAX cinemas ahead of movies like Captain America: Brave New World. When you see any IMAX showing of a movie in a theater, it does tend to have that kind of countdown thing where it's like boom, boom, wang, and it's like really loud and overwhelming. This is just like a Fantastic Four version of it with Michael Giacchino's score, and it is awesome. But it does suggest that there is something to the countdown of all of this, right? And you probably caught the earth-shattering sound Easter egg there, as this Fantastic Four First Steps film is gonna be dealing with an apocalyptic threat to planet Earth, and might even show this Earth being shattered. So we got that and the countdown, but I think this also gives us a clue to what's presented in Fantastivision meant from the trailer. I think it's meant to be a throwback to presented in Panavision, which refers to films in the 1960s beginning to shoot on anamorphic film, which vastly widened the aspect ratio of the frame and in general just changed how movies could look. So when you go back to look at the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer, when the frame widens from this kind of bumpy edged 4:3 60mm aspect ratio to a wider cinematic aspect ratio, I think it's a clue from director Matt Shakman that with this movie, he's using the language of media itself in a kind of meta way to tell the story, just as he did with shifting aspect ratios within the episodes of WandaVision. It means that the way Reed Richards uses broadcast media is going to be important to the story of this movie. I've talked about this in past videos, how First Steps will explore the theme of the cost of fame and how Reed Richards decides to make the four of them celebrity figures, in part to offset the public scorn against his friend Ben Grimm, the Thing, who, unlike the other three, is unable to hide his powers. And we definitely see that theme played out in media appearances that are meant to reflect the iconic televised broadcasting moments of the 1960s. The four appear on a TV soundstage with arrows surrounding them, an homage to the Beatles' 1964 appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show. In the San Diego Comic-Con concept trailer, we know Reed Richards hosts a kids' science show called Fantastic Science with Mr. Richards that's meant to be a nod to Mr. Wizard, the original version of which ran from 1951 to 1965. That concept trailer also had them on a dating game show, but I also think there's a more technical function to the way media is used in this film. I believe Fantastivision is both a way to tell us, the cinema goers in our world, that this movie will dynamically shift between aspect ratios throughout the runtime, and it's also a meta framing device for this film using a semi-documentary structure similar to the opening act newsreel of Pixar's The Incredibles, but in this case presented by an organization called the Future Foundation, which Marvel Studios has already used in their marketing for this film, from having their name on the banners around the San Diego area last summer at Comic-Con, but also as the host of the website that Marvel used to communicate with with fans the destination of a QR code that was hidden on Herbie in a poster last year. And that website told us which specific comics to read to prepare for this movie, including the 1968 Galactus arc. Therefore, Fantastivision, I believe, could refer to Reed Richards' propaganda operation. And since the 1960s also brought to the world a realization that our TV signals could reach space, I think Reed Richards is also going to use this broadcast media to communicate with Galactus and the Silver Surfer. The Fantastic Four First Steps trailer opens with Reed and Sue hosting a tour of the Baxter Building and telling this to whoever this guy is.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
And one thing that only became clear in the weeks since the trailer release, the following Sunday on February 9th, Marvel posted this particular clip on the official Fantastic Four Twitter account exactly at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Many of us thought this might have been a one-off joke, but then 1 week later, on Sunday, February 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, they tweeted the same thing again. And I guarantee you that they're going to do this again this coming Sunday at February 29th, and then probably every Sunday until the movie's release. I love this. It's kind of become the new Daniel Craig, ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd meme, and I cannot get enough of it. But I think it's also a clue that Marvel really wants us to just give a second thought to this moment. Why are Reed and Sue even doing this? And why does Sue look so uncomfortable? Now, there's Sue's hidden baby bump that I've mentioned, but a number of you are looking at this shot of Reed and Sue in space as Reed is holding Sue's face as she flickers in and out of visibility. Doesn't it look like Sue is posed in a way that she is delivering a baby in the scene? Like the sweat on her forehead definitely looks that way. So now we have to ask, why would Sue and Reed choose to deliver a baby in space, if not to deliver this baby safely off the planet Earth? Well, a commenter on our trailer breakdown named Jeeves17 theorized that the Fantastic Four might actually be saying this in the broadcast in order to set a trap. And I think that's a very good theory, Jeeves. Reed could be using this as a kind of code to say, hey, Galactus, if you want to find us, here is exactly where we will be and when. Like the Fantastic Four could be having these family dinners as a kind of battle strategy. Every Sunday night they meet and then look up at the sky and just wait for something bad to happen. The reason I feel pretty good about this is the shot of the meteor shower later on in the trailer when Ben Grimm checks his watch. Before I speculated that Ben's wristwatch might be like connected to an antenna on the roof of the Baxter Building or maybe to some kind of satellite link, but actually I think he's just checking his watch to verify that this is happening exactly at 7 p.m. during the family's Sunday night dinner. This meteor shower, as I explained in our trailer breakdown video, is probably the atmospheric disturbance from the Fantastic Four 1968 Galactus arc comic storyline that Marvel told us to read, which the atmospheric disturbances are being caused by the Silver Surfer. And I think that's who Johnny's flaming on to go fly up to confront here. But if Ben is checking his watch in this shot, this would mean the Fantastic Four have successfully set a trap for something they knew was coming ahead of time. So how did they know that? Enter Uatu the Watcher. In that Galactus arc comic, the Watcher does appear early on, intervening to warn the Fantastic Four about the coming Silver Surfer and Galactus. The Watcher lives on the blue area of the moon, keeping an eye on Earth. The blue area of the moon has been depicted in the X-Men animated series that led to X-Men 97, and the Watcher even cameoed at one point. But Earth's moon also came up in the final minutes of the finale episode of What If, which ended up being a big Watcher story. After Uatu fought the Watchers named Eminence, Incarnate, and Executioner, they ended up on the moon, looking down at Earth within the universe created by Stephen Strange Supreme as a kind of eternity-esque constellation. We also know that Uatu in this series had already intervened to save some Reed Richards in the past, or within his time stream, which might have been the most important line of that series when it comes to the live-action multiverse saga.
There was one time out of trillions.
Oh, Kwai Jun Fan, Reed Richards, Nick Fury, some girl named Madison with 2 N's and 1 Y. Well, the list goes on.
I have interpreted that line to mean the events of What If Season 3, which kind of take place out of time and space, but are occurring within a sort of flattened time, where this Uatu the Watcher saves Pedro Pascal Reed Richards in Fantastic Four First Steps. It's happening. We're gonna get a live-action Jeffrey Wright Watcher with a similar big-headed character design as what the Watchers looked like in that Stan Lee scene in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Marvel already has the asset to make this work. Not only do we get the Reed Richards mention from the Watchers in What If's finale, they also snuck the Watchers outline in X-Men 97's Critical Genosha episode, in I Am Groot, and recently in the finale of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. They are definitely building up this guy for a live-action cameo. And there's another shot in the trailer in which Johnny Storm flies up toward the moon before stopping midair, floating for a bit in the stratosphere, seeing something. Is he seeing the Silver Surfer? Maybe, but I think it's also possible that he's just seeing the blue area of the moon and the Watcher watching him. So yes, I think the Watcher will warn them that the Silver Surfer, Shalabal, and Galactus are on their way, and that Galactus's target is Reed and Sue's coming baby, Franklin Richards, a reality warper. Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four Forever series in 2012, numbers 602 to 604, had a story that involved the Mad Celestials and the Future Foundation, and included the detail that reality warper Franklin Richards resurrected Galactus and established that Galactus was the herald for him. Since Marvel Studios seems to be treating Hickman's writing during these years as gospel for the multiverse saga, I just feel like that's the direction these movies will be going in when it comes to Galactus's relationship with Franklin. But I think after the Watcher gives the Fantastic Four this warning, Reed's response will be to use broadcast television and a non-stop media tour to just kind of frame themselves as naive fame seekers, unsuspecting of what could be coming their way. A presumably easy target for Galactus and the Silver Surfer, while in reality, Reed knows exactly what he's doing and is hustling with equations to open up a rift in the multiverse to trap Galactus in another reality. And I think that is what's going to create the incursion event that brings the Fantastic Four to Avengers Doomsday. So now I just think it's fun to look at everything the Fantastic Four are doing in this trailer as part of a publicity campaign to get all eyes on them, but in a calculated way. Even the design of Herbie seems to be built using practical recording technology. Commenter Doomtown7556 broke it down for us. Herbie's face is apparently a magnetic tape transport with the tape reels as his eyes. The right eye is the main reel, the left eye is the take-up reel. The mouth is formed by the rollers that slide up and down for keeping the tape tension, and you can actually see tape moving around inside that head. Doomtown pointed out that this is how computers recorded information to tape before they switched over to using discs in the 70s. It's such a cool observation. Thank you, Doomtown. And I think it's just another example of how everything in the Baxter building is being recorded and televised for this broadcast signal trap for Galactus. That this is why Matt Shakman was hired for this movie, I think, because with WandaVision, this guy showed how he understands the power of television, both its cultural impact and how this technology could be used to manipulate the message for all kinds of reasons. Comment down below with your thoughts, and please support New Rockstars by joining this channel as a member by hitting that join button. One of the options is ad-free versions of select videos. Also, you'll notice I'm wearing a Silver Surfer inspired shirt, and you can get this design at our merch store, nerdriot.shop. Follow me at EA Voss and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.